Something's different. Yeah, I got a haircut. I just finally decided to get it done because it's starting to get hotter right now in my area. The other day, I think it was like 3 or 4 days ago, it was like 98 degrees. I figured, the less hair you have, the cooler you'll feel. You don't feel as hot. What are we hitting today? We're hitting chest, triceps, and shoulders today. It is our push day. It's going to be a good day. I'm feeling pretty good despite me feeling a little, tired. And we're back on the deficit after the refeed a couple days ago. We are eating roughly 2,600 calories a day right now. Feeling leaner, looking leaner, but still feeling good. My strength is still there. Not feeling too depleted yet. I'm on day 33 or 34, I believe, about a month in. This is around the time where you might typically notice a depletion in strength, which is totally normal. During a cut, you want to make sure you hold on to that strength as long as possible. Strength is still doing pretty okay on this cut. I might have to end the cut sooner than expected because the amount of weight that I've lost has been very significant, and I've maintained a lot of size while minimizing my body fat. I'm definitely looking a lot leaner than when I first started. I was going to cut for 105 days, but at this point, I guess we'll just cut for as long as we can until we feel satisfied with the results. I mean, that's typically how I go about it. I give myself a deadline or a certain time frame to cut based on that time frame. However, once I get to a point where I feel satisfied, that's typically when I'll end it. That's what I care about most is the results that it's giving me rather than an actual date or time frame. We're not competing anytime soon, and there's no point in getting stage lean if you're not going to compete. 5%, 4%, 6, those are the body fat percentages you want to be at when on stage and ready to compete. A lot of people misconstrue the idea that you still make a lot of progress when you're cutting to that point. And to be quite honest, you're not. At a certain point when you're cutting for that long and getting that lean, and then you get closer to peak week, you're no longer growing. At that point, you're just maintaining for quite some time, trying to hold on to as much muscle mass as possible while minimizing your body fat. Enough of that. Let's get going. It is currently 5:15 in the morning. You might be wondering to yourself, why the heck are we going to hit chest on a Sunday this early in the morning? Well, I have discussed it more than enough times at this point, but I love an empty gym. I think there is nothing cooler than a gym that is empty. It's like a playground, It's like when you were in school and all the basketball courts were empty, or the handball courts, or whatever thing you wanted to play in school, and when they were empty because you were I don't know, first in line, or you got the first pick of which equipment you wanted to use in school. It's just an amazing feeling to get to the gym knowing it's going to be empty, and let's hope it is. You'd be surprised. There's been moments where I get to the gym on certain days expecting it to be empty, and then I get there to no avail, and it's kind of crowded or a lot of people are there, and that's okay too. You can't get upset if the gym is crowded though. Unfortunately, that's just how it is sometimes. Unfortunately, that's just how life is. And if it's crowded, it's crowded. There are other people that want to work out too. You're not the only person there. You're not the only person in the gym trying to make gains. There's other people trying to make progress and gains at the gym. But let's talk about what we're going to hit today. We're most likely going to start off with some incline bench press if it's empty enough and we can snag a bench. We're going to be hitting some triceps as well. We're going to do some single hand cable extensions, mainly because lately I've noticed the pump I've been getting with those has just been amazing. So we're going to try doing those again today. Some shoulder press as well. You guys already know the routine is going to be pretty repetitive at this point. So if you don't like watching the same things over and over again, maybe this video is not for you, and that's totally fine. I mean, I'm more so just posting this as documentation and progress for myself. That's pretty much why I make these videos. It's, so you, the viewer, can have something to watch, and more so for me to just document my progress, and I have some type of diary, so to speak, to look back at. Streets are really, really empty today. I love that. Early bird gets the worm, though. That's what they say. I'm seeing a lot of people online lately saying that Sam Sulek did not deserve his win. That's something I did want to mention real quickly. I think people will always have something negative to say about somebody, no matter how well they're doing for themselves and no matter how they achieve it. I'm going to try not to be biased here because I'm a big fan of Sam Sulek. I think he's such an amazing bodybuilder. I think he has a great work ethic and mindset. To be quite frank, I do believe he earned that. You know, some people are saying that he wasn't as big as the other competitors. I think he looked great. For you have to cut him some slack as well. You have to realize and remember this was his first contest ever, his first prep ever. You know, he got his pro card and his debut show. Placing 8th on your first ever show is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good for your first time. People need to understand that this is a very, very difficult contest to prepare for. You know, the longer you've been bodybuilding, the more experience you'll have, not only in the posing sense and in the, you know, experience of like preparing yourself for it, but just muscle maturity overall. You know, a lot of these bodybuilders have been competing since the age of like 16 or 18. They have like roughly 7 to 10 plus years on them with experience in terms of muscle maturity. Sam Sulek is, I think, what, 22 or 20? So he's young. He's a young guy, you know, and he's just starting out and he placed 8th. That's pretty damn impressive. I don't understand why some people are stating he didn't deserve the win or it's because he has a lot of followers. And look, I will state this. Bodybuilding has always been about politics, you know, and I was skeptical at first if he placed higher or if he took home the trophy. I would have been a little surprised, and not because I don't think he didn't deserve it, just more so, wow, like it's his first show and he won first place. But I do believe that he did deserve it. 8th place is a good placing, you know, especially if it's your first ever show. But to completely just state he didn't deserve it, you know, it's rigged, he has followers, it's politics. And like I said, politics will always play a huge role in bodybuilding. We'll get into more of that maybe next time. But I solely believe that Mike Menser was robbed of his 1980 Mr. Olympia title. But I digress. You know, I mean, we can talk more about that another time. But Mike Menser, one of the greatest of all time, frankly, much better physique than a lot of these bodybuilders during that time. You know, he was robbed. Point, period, blank. The man was robbed. And I think he deserved that title and he deserved that win. But I digress. Anyways, we are here. Still plenty of time to get a good pump. It is currently 5:25. I'm excited. It looks pretty empty and dead today. Let's hope it doesn't get crowded later. It is Sunday. Notice Sundays, it's a hit or miss, but typically on a Sunday, it's not as crowded as it normally is. And it's because it's Sunday. You know, a lot of people like to sleep in, and that's totally fine too. Leave more room for me at the gym while everyone else is sleeping and, you know, dozing off and dilly-dallying in the morning because they're too tired to wake up. I'm already here getting the workout in, getting the pump going, and that's fine by me. That is totally fine by me. Give myself enough time and room to enjoy the gym, reap the rewards and benefits of showing up early. It is a little reward. Showing up early, being the early bird, really does has its perks. And, you know, if you want to sleep in, that's totally fine. If you are that person that decides to wake up early, you know, that's good. You know, take advantage of that. Wake up. If you can't sleep, you know, you might as well go to the gym and put in some fucking work. But yeah, we're here. I'm going to go out now. No more dilly-dallying. Sorry for the little rant. And yeah, you already know this whole spiel. We're going to show the sets and all that. Show the pump afterwards, the progression and all that. And yeah, I'll see you guys afterwards. Alrighty. So that pretty much wraps it up. As you can tell by the footage, it was an amazing pump. The lighting was a little bit better today in the locker room. Still maintaining a lot of that leanness despite having that refeed a few days ago, which is totally normal. You might notice you might feel fluffier, a little bit, look more fuller after a refeed, but as your glycogen depletes throughout the cut and as the cut progresses, you'll go back to that, you know, leanness and going back to getting leaner and leaner. It was an amazing pump though, got a great workout. It wasn't too crowded today, which I loved. I was able to use all the machines I needed to use efficiently, quickly, and getting the, you know, the workout over with very, very quickly. Chest was feeling very full, and even though, and like I said earlier, despite the refeed making me feel a little bit more fuller and looking a little bit more puffier, which is completely normal, the striations are coming back. The Christmas tree on my lower back is coming back. The abs are a little bit more prominent. The striations on my shoulders and chest are very, very more visible. So that's a good sign that this cut's going very well. Other than that, that pretty much wraps it up. Gonna go home, get some food in me, shower, change, get ready for the day, all that jazz, you know. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. Alrighty, I'll see you on the next one.